were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Yeah, the bonnie boat was one as we sail into the mystic.
Welcome to 3, the most innovative metaphysical program ever created. Join Chris, Rainey, and Mona as these amazing intuitives provide you with a three-dimensional divination into your most important questions. Now, from Las Vegas, the entertainment capital of the world, enjoy 3 with our hostess, Mona Van Joseph.
Welcome again to another episode of 3. Remember, you can always go to our website, www.3.vegas, THREE.Vegas. I'm actually here with our master astrologer, Chris Gray, and our intuitive medium, Rainy Day. And me, I read tarot. I'm pretty good at it. Chris, damn good at astrology. Rainy connects with all the spirits on the other side for you. So the 3 of us are here to provide you with a 3-dimensional approach to your question. So the way it's going to work is we have our caller on hold right now, and it will be the fabulous Gail. She'll be joining us shortly. But the way the program works is that you think of a specific question. The more specific your question, the more we can help you. And then when you get on the air, you're going to choose which one of the readers here you'd like to have answer your question first. And then you'll choose who answers the question second. And then by default, whoever's left over will answer your question third. But all 3 of us collaborate to give you this wonderful interest to your question, because we're going to be all about you, which is great. Also, when we're each done spending about 5 minutes with you, the 3 of us are going to collaborate with kind of what we all came up for you. And then we're going to ask you to give us some feedback after we're done telling you everything we tell you. So we're going to be back after this. So stay tuned. We'll be with Gail shortly.
Hi, my name is Edgar Alejandro. I'm the co-founder of Rising Again Productions. So we've been here in Vegas producing films for the past couple of years, and we've seen our fair share of studios. We've worked in our fair share of studios, and to be honest, WWDBTV has been our favorite by far. John is so welcoming. The space is wonderful. It's perfect for what we need. We've had rehearsals here. We've had callbacks here. We've had table reads here. So if you're a Vegas creative, or really just a creative coming into Vegas, definitely check out this space, chat with John. I think you'll find that this studio has everything that you'll need as well.
And we're back. Gail, welcome to 3.Vegas. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Hey, we want to know how you found the program. How did you find us?
I get Rainy's newsletters.
Oh, very
and
cool.
I found it on that, and then I kind of went on and looked at it, and it was really intriguing.
Oh, excellent. Well, we're so happy that you found us. So which one of us would you like to have answer your question first? Do you want Chris, our astrologer, Rainy, our psychic medium, or me to answer your question first? Who would you like? I think
Chris, and then you and Rainy last.
Okay, so Chris, me, and then Rainy?
Yes.
Got it. Okay, so what is your question?
Okay, so Wednesday night I had this dream. I don't normally remember my dreams, just the feelings, but this one, and I want to know what the symbolism of the last part of the dream meant.
Okay, so tell us about the dream.
Okay, just the last part?
Yeah, whatever part you need to
I got one in. Okay, so I was in this kind of attic room with this young boy, and he had these 2 buttons, and they were the kind that didn't have the holes on it, but had the little hoop on the bottom. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, are we talking buttons for clothes or buttons?
Yeah, buttons for clothes. Buttons for clothes, but not the one with the holes on top, the one with the little hoop on the back. And he had 2 white buttons, and he had this long red thread, and he was trying to join the 2 buttons together with the thread. And so I was helping him, trying to join the 2 buttons together with the thread, and I was almost done doing it. And then something made me stop. It's like something was off, and it wasn't like that it was evil, like he was evil or whatever, but something didn't seem right, and that I shouldn't finish closing these buttons off together. Now, to me, buttons means closure. Thread is like a link for fate or, ancestral karma, and red is blood usually to me. So I'm just kind of curious as what it means and why I didn't want to close it off.
All right, Chris, Take it away, girl.
Man, this is very interesting.
Yeah.
I have to say,
Because of what you said before the program started today. Yeah.
yeah. So to fill you in, Gail, when I was looking at your chart right before you called in, I'm like, Gail's clairvoyant. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about your chart, and then I'm going to answer your very interesting question. And I just think it's so unique to your natal chart, actually. So I'm really excited about this.
Oh, thank you.
So, Gail, you are a Libra rising, or I'm so sorry, you're a Scorpio rising and a Scorpio sun. You got a couple other Scorpio placements. You have your Mercury. And so what that means for you is that you're highly intuitive. You're able to dig really deep down into uncover the things that are hidden. You also have your sun, which is placed in your 12th house. And when I see this placement, this tells me that that's where the clairvoyance comes in. Also, as it ties to, you have a lot of Pluto from the Scorpio, because Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So you have a lot of Scorpio placements, which talk about having that intuition. But this sun placement, where it is in your chart, it talks about you are able to see the things that are hidden. You're able to see things that nobody else can see. You're able to see the truth. There is a bit of a double-edged sword to that, as it can relate to your work. If you're not an intuitive for work, then it could kind of manifest in some challenges, because you're able to see things so clearly that sometimes you see them so far ahead of everyone else that if you were to voice those, you'd kind of be, I don't want to say crazy, but people wouldn't really resonate with it. They couldn't relate to it. They can't see it because it's so far ahead, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you have to deliver information a little at a time so that people can kind of digest it a little better. But you have this placement, and it's so strong in your chart. And when you have this, you're ruled by Pluto, so ruled by Scorpio, and you have that placement, that's just a double whammy for someone who is just very clairvoyant, very intuitive. You have a couple other placements that talk about the same as well. And so when you were telling me, or when you were telling us about your dream, I saw it very clearly in your chart. You have this ability, because you're able to see the hidden things, you're also able to see the potential. You're able to see the good and the bad. And you're able to help people. You have this placement in your chart that talks about you have this very powerful gift of really doing and being whatever you want. With that, in this lifetime, your soul chooses whether you want to use that for good or bad. And I think that's where it relates to your dream, is you chose, because you're able to uncover and see this missing or this hidden information. The boy in your dream represented you being able to provide information or connect people to information. But I feel like you got the feeling that you shouldn't, or that maybe that it was evil, and it was a direct acknowledgement to your natural gift, that you, in this lifetime, your soul chooses whether you want to use your gift for good or bad. So with one of your gifts being that you're able to see the hidden, I feel like that is kind of where it ties in, is you could provide information to certain people, or you could help, if you wanted to, if you were approached. However, I feel like maybe if you were to give certain information to people or entities, that they could use it for not good, and it's almost like you're acknowledging that gift. Your subconscious was acknowledging that gift, that yeah, you have the ability to see this information, but maybe not necessarily tie it all together, or you choose not to tie it together and or deliver it to certain people because of what they might choose to do with that information. Hope that makes sense.
Okay, so while you were talking, the clock went to 11:11, which I always pay attention to.
Literally, it's still there.
It's still 11:11. So make a wish right now, Gail. So I have to tell you before I even turn cards over, I want to tell you what I think the interpretation of the dream is, and then I'm going to turn cards over for you. So I'm going to tell you what I think the interpretation of the dream. I believe that the little boy represents your childlike approach to life. So I think that you trust people until you can't trust them. All right. But then once you can't trust them, then you never trust them until they prove it to you. And I believe that that leans toward that Scorpio side of your chart. But I'm telling you, I think the little boy represents the naivete or the childlike innocence of how you approach people. So you trust them till you can't. So now you're tying the buttons together. Two things flashed in my mind. The first one was personally that there might be relatives that you have in your life that don't get along, and that it's not your responsibility to tie them together or make them get along in any way. So that's number one. The other thing, number two, is that I think the two buttons, like Chris was talking about, represent good and evil, and that there are people that putting them together would be like oil and water, that you can't put them together and have them really mesh without some sort of intermediary. So two buttons, oil, water, and then the thread is the mixing of those two, oil and water. But some people shouldn't be mixed together. So now I'm going to turn the cards over for you. But the way I was listening very careful to what Chris was saying about you, and I think the little boy represents your innocence, your naivete, your delight to be in this lifetime, your delight to learn, and that you stopped yourself at some point because you realized these two buttons shouldn't go together. And I think it relates to either people you already know or relatives that are in your life right now that actually shouldn't be at the same Thanksgiving table. I'm just saying. All right. So now I'm drawing your cards. Okay. So there's a card that's smack in the middle of your reading. And it's a card that's called silence. In traditional tarot, that's a card called the Star. It is the balance of your intuitive side with negotiating life. So it's kind of interesting because it is a dual energy. So we could actually call the two buttons, one is your internal intuitive life and one is your external material life. So we could call it that. What's interesting is your analytical mind is fighting your intuitive side, which is what this card is saying right here. So we have the silence card smack in the middle, which is your intuitive and your material side, your body and your intuitive. It's like that infinite connection and that you're navigating it. But the consciousness card reversed means that you're second guessing your own intuition. And then the suppression card is a card of you're trying too hard. So it's kind of interesting because when I see cards like this, I see someone that's a little too much of a giver. Somebody that if I said to you, oh my God, Gail, you make the best cranberry macadamia nut cookies. And you would immediately say, I'll make you some. And then you give me 6 dozen cookies. All right. Instead of saying, I'd be delighted to send you the recipe. Do you see what I mean?
Yes.
So what it's saying is that there are people that don't deserve your help. So the tying the threads together of the two buttons, it's like you were doing the work of somebody that was taking advantage of you. And I don't think so much it was the little boy, although your feeling itself said the little boy is a trickster. The little boy is like Loki, right?
Right.
The mischievous god.
Right.
And this card called consciousness usually resonates to a young man that's clever. And I'm not using clever as a compliment. I'm using clever as basically someone that is narcissistic and basically self-absorbed and is doing whatever they need to do to make an advantage for themselves. Then you have these two cards over here. You don't sleep well anyway. So the fact that you woke up with this dream so vivid in your mind, I actually would write that down, because I almost wonder if that you end up making that little dream somewhat of a little short story that talks about good and evil in a way. And then this card called intensity is that when you get an idea in your head, you're kind of like a pit bull with a bone, man. When you get an idea in your head, the energy that you can attract to yourself and engage is huge. But the big card in your reading here is this idea of integrating your intuitive side with the actual physical expression of you on this planet. So there you go.
Thank you.
I'll leave the
I
cards here.
cannot wait. Please leave those cards there. I have three beautiful things for you, because what Chris talked about, I want to hit on, and what Mona is talking about, suppression and consciousness. My darling, you are a very gifted healer. You go to a lot of different wonderful spiritual events and instructions and meditations. Can I tell you, when you give hugs, there is like no other. It's a healing in and of itself. You are a healer. Would you please get your butt out of the classes and actually, this is a beautiful little side gig, and start healing people. We need you. We need you. Also, that's your clairvoyant side that Chris was talking about, your consciousness and you not wanting to be seen as that kind of a person because you don't believe you are on the same level. I'm going to call bullshit. There is no level.
There's my girl.
There is no level. You have this unique, beautiful, divine gift of healing that you really need to stop being the sitter and being the leader. We need you. Okay, so I want to jump to your question. As you were talking about your question, were you adopted, or did you feel like you never fit into your family?
I was raised in foster homes.
There you go. As soon as you started talking, as I had my eyes closed, I could see you in the attic with the boy. And immediately, I have these past life cards. They threw out the card that I just went out of my head, the orphan card. Be careful what you ask for. Have you ever done those 23andMe's or Ancestry.com?
Yeah.
Be careful what you ask for, because I don't know that knowledge will improve your life. That knowledge will set you back. That knowledge is not important to who you are. You are who you are. You've created this beautiful, loving, caring, healing, clairvoyant being of light. That doesn't matter. You are not a throwaway child. You are not the orphan child. This is exactly what you agreed to come down onto this earth so that you could become this incredible healer. When you let go of that thought of being that orphan child, you're going to start to see physical transformation and healing. I believe that wanting to know, that feeling of, was I not cared about? Did they not want me? All of that BS.
Yeah.
Because we come into this world to be our own beautiful soul. I want you to connect to your higher self, which is literally right there, and gain that confidence to come out into the world and be this healer. Sometimes when you get what you ask for, it's very damaging. And I feel that this quest is what's caused you some dis-ease that you don't have to always live with. Does that resonate with you? Do you understand that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
There is a huge awakening coming for you. And I'm hoping that Chris will kind of give you that time frame of where that path, that fork in the road is going to come, because I feel it's coming. And it also has to do with finances. Finances are very tight. Is that a fair statement?
Oh, definitely.
Well, girlfriend, you have a side gig. What are you waiting for? You are a healer.
Confidence, I guess.
Well, but I'm telling you, I have never felt a beautiful hug like I have felt from you. It is healing, that heart-to-heart connection that you have with people. You are no longer the sitter. You are the giver now. And I will introduce you to a few people where you can maybe start that journey so that you can gain that confidence. That's that intensity card. That's that eruption. And I'm hoping Chris will give you that window of opportunity, because you're going to have to go left or right. And if you just stay where you are, you're just going to stay where you are. That's all I have for you. And I love you. And thank you for subscribing to my newsletter. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Chris, you couldn't wait
Yeah.
to jump
Go,
in.
girl, go.
Funny that you touched on that she's a healer. So you have this placement that is in your first house. Your first house is who you are at your core. Your first house directs your entire chart and your horoscope, but it's really at your core of who you are. And you have the placement of the healer. It's called the wounded healer. And so through your hardships and your obstacles that you've gone through, you're able to heal yourself, but you're able to bring healing to other people through your experiences. So, and it's a very big part of your personality. So I love that you touched on that. Then she also has another placement that talks about her being very, very nurturing in relationships, not just romantic, but any kind of relationships. She's very nurturing. And then there's this other placement that talks about that she inherited, usually it's spiritually, from a female. So it could maybe be, it could be like maybe a mother or grandmother, but it's your intuitive gifts. You actually inherited them. They're down through you're supposed to have these gifts, like they're down through your genes, right? And then, but I wanted to touch on, you said that coming soon that she's going to be having this big transit. Okay, so there is definitely a really big transit that's coming on in the next, I would give it the next 3 to 5 months. It will last for probably about 8 months. It will kind of peak at about 3 to 4 months from now. And so what it talks about is you really stepping into your own, and this is your own gifts, like you following your passion and stepping into it. And it's connected to that intuitive gift, so that spiritual gift.
So, and I want to tag on to something that Rainey mentioned, is that, and of course it makes me wonder, remember how I said earlier that it's, there are people that shouldn't mix together. And it's like one foster family might not get along with another foster family. It could be something like that. But I want to tag on what Rainey said, which is there are some spirits that come in this lifetime that can't wait to be here, and they don't give a crap how they get here. So the fact that you were a surprise to your mom, which is really what happened, and she was not in a place to take care of you, that's why you ended up with all these different experiences of foster care. The benefit, and I'm going to use that word deliberately, the benefit of you being in that experience is that you learn to read people at a very, very young age. So you learn to anticipate things. You learn to be, and again, obedience, behave a certain way, because based on whatever the rules of that household was, all right? But what it's saying now is that you basically have been set free, and you need to behave like you're being set free. And it's funny because there are people that call me for a reading just because they want to talk. All right. Now I could actually see you, if you use tarot to actually concentrate and focus your gift. I could actually see you just drawing one card in front of you and basically talking about that one card to that person, and then letting them open up to you and talk to you about that subject. So and Rainey has all this beautiful education in psychology. So I think she knows where I'm going with this, is that sometimes all you have to do is say a subject, and it will open that can of worms for somebody, and they finally get to talk about it and release it. Well, your ears, your experiences, you've seen it all. Nothing shocks you, right? So
Right.
anything they talk about, you would be able to help them with that guide them through it, and be a compassionate, empathetic, receiving influence for them. Because sometimes people just need to hear themselves explain something, and sometimes they figure it out themselves. But they needed to say it out loud in order for that to happen. So, but your dream is a wonderful catalyst.
Yes.
Oh,
And I want to talk about the thread.
yes.
This has been a pattern in several lifetimes, because what Chris said, that wounded healer, I cannot tell you how many people would sit in front of you, like Mona was saying, just one card to start the conversation. Just that wounded healer, your experiences, not in this lifetime, but several lifetimes, it can affect so much change in somebody. You really, really, really need to expand your heart, open your heart, and don't be afraid to step out there. It can be very fearful. If you're interested, I have an 11-day, it's a healing release. It kind of helps you step out of the way so you aren't worrying about threading the two buttons. You just are. They just are there. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no story. It'll help you get out of that block. To me, it's a block. Send me an email at hello@rainy.day. Say, Rainy, send me that 11-day. It's a spiritual healing, and I'd be happy to send that to you. You will love it. It will help you move out of your own way and get out there and be that healer that we need you to be. Wounded healer.
Yeah.
Girl, that's the essence of you, my love.
Thank you.
All right, Gail, now it's your turn to give us a little feedback of your experience today.
Well, it's really funny because even when I was little, I'd be sitting at a bus stop. I'm from Chicago, and people would just come up and sit down and start talking to me. I mean, I wouldn't know them or anything.
Right?
And my friends, like, they consider I have one friend who doesn't get along with her boyfriend. She comes here because she feels like it's a safe haven. And people, like, to my apartment, and other people have come in here and they just, like, feel relaxed. So I don't know. And, like, I love going to Walmart.
I got to interrupt you because I think you just named your business, Gail Safe Haven. And that all you do is you might charge people $40 to talk to you for a half hour, just to talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, and suddenly people are Venmoing you or Zelling you, $100 an hour just to talk to them. And now we are not worried about money anymore.
That's true.
Just saying. But I get Gail Safe Haven. Sorry, go back to reviewing us now because I had to say that.
I so get that.
Yeah, you get that.
I
right?
get
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know. When I go to Walmart, a lot of people hate going to Walmart, and I go there. Somebody once told me I was a transmuter. Like, I'm not an empath, but I love to just get all the chaos and then just send it back as good energy. Like, I'll smile at everybody. It's just what I do. And I don't know. It's just kind of, so a lot of what you guys said made a lot of sense. Because I just haven't got to the point where I feel, like you said, Rainey, like I'm not good enough at doing it to actually do it professionally or whatever.
It's not about doing it. It's about receiving.
About, just helping people. I don't know. I just kind of.
Let me facilitate a couple of little free things. You're not tied to the outcome. You're just going to go and you're just going to do and be who you are. It's not your apartment. It's not the space. It's you.
So, Gail, don't hang up when we're done closing the program because we got a couple things we want to tell you. All three of us want to tell you something privately. Okay. So don't hang up. Stay on your little Zoom channel. Anything else you want to give us as feedback before we close the program today?
Just kind of, you guys are really spot on. It's just amazing how, you just know.
Okay.
So I want to thank you very much because it was very enlightening.
Stay in the Zoom room, and thank you so much for that. Stay in the Zoom room. We're going to talk to you off air, but don't go anywhere. So you're in the green room right now, so just hang on. All right, you guys, we have some amazing experiences here on 3 Vegas.
I didn't know she was in foster care. That blew my mind.
Well, it's probably why she had that dream, that it was supposed to be foundation for her to move forward in some way.
Yes.
And the red thread could be her. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That thread of love.
Yes.
Let's not use the red thread as blood. Let's use the red thread as the thread of love.
Love.
I'm just saying, because she's loved all the way through her life. Even when people don't freaking deserve it, she's loved through her life. It's amazing because her spirit couldn't wait to be here. It's really what it boils down. I want the experience of this life. I don't really give a crap what happens. I just want to be here.
And that's why I love what you said. I mean,
Oh my God.
I'm never going to forget that phrase that you said and how you talked about the wounded healer and that it's in her chart.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Amazing, ladies.
Good job.
Thank you, guys.
Good
This
job.
is wonderful. All right. If you'd like to be on 3, go to www.three.vegas and you can connect with any of us for a reading privately, but you can also go to How to Be on 3 page, fill out the contact information there, and we will reach out to you about a week before our next taping. And we would love, love, love to have you on the program. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Rainey. Thank you,
Mom.
everybody, for being a part of this program, and we'll see you again soon.